to outmuscle Seaton.
Castrol race cam shows you Brock getting a little bit sideways, and the crowd lets out an enormous cheer on pit straight here as their hero Brock pushes his way through on Larry Perkins and sets out after the Fords ahead of him.
Yes, the monster screen here in front of the grandstand, which is a fabulous idea, shows the crowd here in the main straight what's going on around the back.
Castrol race cam, another marvellous view of motorsport. You're just a few inches off the ground here, looking at the back of Brock's car as he comes on toward pit straight.
There'll be a little difference here as they come back on to the pit straight. The crowd off to the right in the grandstand. They've seen the Brock move. They're already working their way up to their feet to wave Brocky and pointing to the front. They sure are. You're going to love it there going with the folks here.
So Seaton in control on lap 7 of 22. John Bowe in second. Brock now up to third. Larry Perkins fourth. Scape in fifth. Alan Jones in sixth. Then it's Crompton, Johnson, Gardner and Richards.
It looks an easy corner on camera, but just watch the way Brock was nursing it through that corner, just coaxing it, constantly correcting it. Not a bad act at 250k, I must say.
Well, Larry could well be in tyre trouble here. He's slipping back into the clutches of the cars, sneaking up behind him. He's doing slower lap times than the cars around him too. He slipped up into the 1-minute 37-second bracket, which would explain why he's being pounced on from all directions.
Well, the tyre war has become absolutely crucial. The formula is so competitive and every other nuance covered in so many equal ways that the variety of tyres, Mark, is starting to be the weak link in this championship.
Has it almost got to the point where we need a control tyre?
Well, I think it is, actually. It's hard to say that.
Well,
but
here comes Scapey up on the inside of Larry, and there goes Scape.
Here's evidence of it. Larry Perkins, obviously in some sort of trouble, could well be tyres.
Here comes AJ.
Larry will drive as hard as anybody, but when he knows he's beaten, he's not a hog behind the wheel, and I think that was a decent move there, and Scape by through. He knows that he's now got Jones to contend with, and I'm sure will go by equally quickly.
So Alan Jones sneaks up under the wing of the Castrol Commodore with no shortage of grunt and straight line. The Castrol Chevy be able to hold out. Jones down this fast part of the circuit, become the twisty stuff. Jones has got the rubber that you want at Eastern Creek this weekend. Jones in sixth, Perkins in fifth. Let's see if he makes a move on him. Under brakes as they come up to turn 2.
Yes, he will.
There he goes.
AJ's day. He's through on the inside, picks up one more spot, and it is good to see Jones having a good run, and Mark Scape in the Winfield Commodore producing some of his best form of the season. Glenn Seaton heads down to the right-hander, and that's becoming a fairly good gap back to John Bowe. Let's check them out for you on the Shell race score. Seaton is your race leader. John Bowe runs in second. Brocky, my man, is on the move, followed by Scape and AJ rounding out the top 5. Comes down on the inside. He's an old stager, Perkins.
But
never leaves doors open for anyone. But there it is, Wayne Gardner, car number 4. Was sort of taken out of the Peter Jackson dash a little earlier this morning by an over-exuberant Alan Jones. But he's caught up with Dick right behind him now.
Well, certainly pride on the line between these Castrol and Coke boys. They really are each other's yardstick, as Dunlop Race Cam shows. Dick Johnson coming into pounce on Larry Perkins as well as he continues his slide back through the field.
Look at the gap. There's Glenn goes through.
It's out to 5.19 seconds.
Here comes Brocky down the inside. Wasn't enough left there, and while Brock is being contained here by Bowe, Mark Scafe and Alan Jones are coming up onto his bumper. He really needs to get past Bowe and try and put a little bit of distance in there, because I have a feeling if he can deal with them, so can they.
Well, we've gone half distance now. They're on the 13th lap, in fact, of this 22-lap contest.
Well, anybody that drove the way John Bowe did at Winton a week ago, you would expect him to be able to hold off just about anyone, and maybe we're just being a bit too adventurous with our comments here that Brock is going to walk by any second of the clock.
I'll have a quick 50 that says he will.
Well, you can put your money
What
down.
about that?
Oh, he's not there yet.
Well, it is actually
what lap do you want that 50?
Well, the trouble is, if John's going to drive like that, he's going to wear more of his tyres out too. He's really in the defensive mode, and Scafe has said, come on, Brocky, time to go, and Jones is there with a little more power than Scafe. I mean, fairly or unfairly, is John holding up the show at the moment? Well, stand by. Crowd are ready to stand as Brocky tries to line it up, but Bowe has just got a little too much power. and is able to get him down into the bottom turn again. Fascinating scrap for second place.
Seton continuing to build on his lead in the front, 5.41 seconds that time around. They can blow a blanket over these guys. Bow, Brock, Scape and Jones. Crompton a little further back at 6th, just ahead of his teammate Wayne Gardner.
He's setting a very, very tough pace here, and these fellows are going to have to work hard to get by. I didn't actually get an answer to what lap you won that 50 on, Mike.
Oh, here. Oh, okay. Another go on the left here.
You wait till it happens, and then you'll tell us.
You can read the results. Here we go. I mean, Brocky has sort of signalled, I believe, that he's ready to pass, but just can't do enough about it at the moment.
Comes up alongside John Bow as they come down toward Corporate Hill.
Yeah.
The crowd goes crazy. He's done it. And Skate tries to go through as well.
And here comes Jones. The crowd have all stood as one.
Oh, look at the tyre rubbing on Skate's car now. There's smoke belching from that front tyre. Will that clear? We don't know. But he's done a bit of damage to the front of the car as he boofed it into the side of Bow's car.
Yeah, he did a bit of damage, but he also, that was a very smart move. He tried hard, and he really capitalized on the vulnerability he saw in the number 18 car. Now here's Alan Jones taking a bit of slice of that vulnerability. So I think Mark's in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, AJ would have said, well, hang on, my teammate's trying to win this championship too, but he's been able to get through. Bowie just fading back into the pack a little. I don't think there's anyone else going to catch him for the next few laps. We've got Thomas Mazzera, Peter Brock's teammate. We're trying to just cover which side of the track we think he's going to effect a pass on. So far, Johnson able to just hold him at bay. There's not much in it, and Jimmy Richards starting to look like the Jimmy Richards of old. I don't know how old that was, but it's been a long time since we've seen Jim up monstering anyone.
It's the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th position. Mazzera goes with Johnson in a straight line. See if he gets him any